Today's horoscope from Astrocademy, Leo January 4, 2023. With the Sun square to Chiron influencing the first half of the day, there can be ambiguities or a sense that energies are clogged. It's temporary, and it may prompt a critical rethink or change. If you're questioning a recent endeavor or plan, pace yourself so that stress is minimal. Self-doubt and hesitance can have you feeling off your game temporarily. Small personal triumphs can be had and enjoyed, and as the day progresses, courage and confidence build. Also today, Venus enters your work and health sector for a stay until the 26th. You may find work or health routines more enjoyable in the weeks ahead, and benefits in these areas are possible. You'll be motivated to bring more harmony to your everyday life. There may be increased social opportunities through your work or daily routines. You feel more joy in doing your part, and you could seek wellness treatments during this cycle. They can do much to improve your mood. As we continue to dance onward into 2023, we have another day that focuses extensively on your relationships. Mental Mercury, your planetary ruler and our cosmic messenger of the mind and communication, continues to zip along in his retrograde through your solar 5th house of romance and kiss Neptune in your solar 7th house of partnership through a divine alignment known as a sextile. This is a 5-star day to make promises and have sweet conversations with your significant other. If single, use this energy to talk with someone perhaps from your past about your long-term goals in union. Creativity can take you far. It might be time to reconsider the execution of your passion projects to progress your professional journey when Mercury retrograde in Capricorn sextiles Neptune in Pisces while the Sun in Capricorn trines the North Node in Taurus. Be open to exploring different avenues with your creative endeavors during these transits, since you may need to commit to your imagination to stabilize your professional journey. Doing so can set you up for success to regularly work on your creative commitments when Venus enters Aquarius later today. When Venus returns to your work sector today, the planet of money will find that even before the moon returns to your career sector just minutes later, her mission to steer work and job matters in a lucrative direction has support from the start. From the start, there is an exciting energy across the income, work, and career fronts that is just a taste of things to come. You tend to experience everything on an emotional level. Today, be receptive to the celestial atmosphere by reflecting upon how your emotions influence your health. This knowledge will help direct you in terms of diet and exercise. And it is really not that difficult. If you make the daily intake of fresh produce a goal, go to bed well before midnight, and exercise regularly, you will not only secure your good looks but also feel more emotionally balanced. This is the kind of day that you love. You will probably find that on this day you have ample time for the important people in your life. Now is the time to take something that you all enjoy doing and develop it into a tradition. If this circle of people is still fairly new, it is the ideal time to consider putting down the building blocks that cement its foundations. This will hold true in business relations as well as personal. The Moon and Venus are not only closely linked today, but at one point they will form a friendly aspect, but it won't happen where they start the day. The day begins with the Moon not only in an adventurous part of your chart during Venus' final hour in a playful and creative part, but with both preparing to leave. There will be a fairly significant shift in focus when just minutes after Venus returns to your work sector, the Moon will return for its first visit to your career sector for the year. This is where they will come together, energizing things across the income, work, and career fronts. It is during Venus, the planet of love's final hours in your romantic sector, that the Moon, in its final hours in an adventurous part of your chart, is connecting with the planets that will stay on to keep the romantic flame burning. That includes a friendly aspect to Mercury in his first full week in retrograde motion in your romantic sector, bringing together a mix of romance, adventure, and nostalgia. Our eyes in the sky. Venus enters Aquarius in the evening, allowing us to understand what we desire from a cerebral point of view when it comes to relationships. This transit enables us to take baby steps toward finding what our heart wants as we proceed with caution in romantic matters. The Sun shares a connection with the nodes of destiny, urging us to embrace our confidence, power, passion, and self-esteem as we move through the day. The month starts with Venus entering Aquarius on January 2nd. When the planet of love is in the sign of the water bearer, we can expect a hands-off and aloof approach to expressing our sentiments. Although we want to connect with others, we do so on more of a cerebral level, which involves a meeting of the minds and intellect rather than physical touch. The 6th brings the first full moon of 2023, this one in Cancer, which means that we could undergo an emotional and mental release in the first days of the new year. This is extremely beneficial because we're able to let go of the past and move into a different headspace for the year. This particular full moon can bring up many power struggles and issues from the past, which is why it's a good time to let go of negativity and move forward toward a more positive place. January 12th marks the end of the Mars retrograde that began in Gemini on October 30th, 2022. Now that we've seen situations and relationships from a different perspective, it's up to us to decide how we want to move forward with the information we've gathered. The Mercury retrograde ends on the 18th in Capricorn, allowing us to heal from all the miscommunications and mishaps that we might have experienced with family or when traveling over the holidays. The Sun enters Aquarius on January 20th, just before the new moon in the same sign the next day. Although it's taken a few weeks, we can now begin to see our resolutions for 2023 come to fruition. Uranus in Taurus turns direct on the 22nd, and Venus enters Pisces 4 days later, making the end of the month sweeter than the start as our fantasies and desire for romance peak. In the morning, the Taurus moon squares off with Saturn in Aquarius, perpetuating isolation. We are in a stubborn mood, prepared to dig in our heels and draw out arguments to get our way. Deep down inside, we are probably aware we are making the problem worse by being inflexible. However, we have convinced ourselves that we are sticking to our principles. This heightens contention between ourselves and those in our community who are looking for a progressive solution. Should we resort to temper tantrums, we will wind up regretful of our conduct down the road. After sunup, the Capricorn Sun squares off with Chiron in Aries, stimulating sensitivities. We believe we are not receiving recognition for our hard work or talents. Instead of becoming angry, we feel embarrassed. To maintain a sliver of self-esteem, we can convince ourselves that because we weren't given a break, others shouldn't be either. This logic may be mimicking the voice of an elder figure, perhaps a paternal one who failed to cut us slack in our youth. Try to step back from the immediacy of irritating or frustrating interactions today. Whose voice is in your head? Think of all the healing that you could offer, not only to your inner child, but to those around you, if you chose a different tactic and broke the chain of criticism.